Welcome back to the Sherwood Urban Farm. In today's video we are going to discuss the best way to maximize your space and to increase your harvest. Intercropping. Whether you've got a small backyard or you've got a large farm, intercropping is incredible. It will improve your soil health and it will give you more food. Let's get to it. So if you're new to gardening, you might be wondering what is intercropping. So as it sort of says is you are interplanting in the same bed. So in this bed I have got broccoli, I have cauliflower on that side, then in the middle I have got what are they called, icicle radishes, and then I've still got some cocktail tomatoes which are hanging from the middle as well. And then I've got some volunteer onions, which I didn't seem to get from last season. But the advantage of this is that you are able to put in different plants in the same space. But you got to also keep in mind that something like broccoli are going to grow really big. So what I've done is I have intercropped here with a very fast growing crop, the radishes. So by the time these get really large, the radishes will be out and I would have eaten them already. The tomatoes are trellising up. I'm going to keep these as long as they're going to keep going into the winter. And but once they've done, then I'll just pull them out. And the onions, well, the onions were not really planned. They are probably going to get covered by the broccoli, but I can always just harvest them as spring onions. So that way I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crops out of this small space. This is a meter by a meter, 1.2 meters. Let's look at some more examples of intercropping. So in this bed I have ginger. It's not going to last through the winter. I'll be able to harvest that. Then I've got radish. I've only got like 2 carrots because I wasn't on top of the game for watering them. And then I have got broccoli and cauliflower in this bed, and then there's still some volunteer onion. But what I'm going to do is in this row here I'm going to plant some garlic. I'm going to not just put, like last time I just put garlic last year in one place. This year I'm going to put garlic all over the place. So let's get my garlic. Oh, look at that. Where is it now? Oh, there he is. Check it out. An earthworm. Ooh, sorry. Check. This is a proper earthworm. This is not a red regular. That's really, to me, when I see the real earthworms, not that those aren't real earthworms, but when I see the ones that are in the soil, I'm like so happy. It's, to me, a sign of good soil health. So, just a quick tutorial. Planting garlic. Guys, this is from the shop. Last year I planted garlic from which I bought online, and it still got rust. I got garlic from it, but it still got rust. Then I thought, well, I'm gonna just plant any old garlic now. So you want to put this the base plate down, basil plate I think they call it, sharply point up. Every 10 centimeters you're gonna pop one in like that. Bonus tutorial here. There we go. It's not difficult. Then I'm going to hang on. That's it. Then I've got my chicken manure compost. The reason I use the chicken manure compost is because it's high in sulfur, so then it gives the garlic a more pungent smell, which actually increases its medicinal benefit. So I'm going to mix this in a little bit. This comes straight out of the chicken run, right under where they nest at night, or roost at night. I did this last year, and wow, that garlic. When I was processing some of the garlic, That night I couldn't sleep with my hands by my face. The garlic smell was just so strong. I've bought garlic from China, and that garlic, it has almost no smell. So I don't know how they're growing their garlic there, but this is the ticket. If you can get your hands on some chicken manure compost, you can see this is like a whole mixture. It's not just chicken manure, then that's going to defeat the point. This has got grass and the food scraps and whatever has broken down, and obviously then precious chicken manure. And then I'm going to cover it up. I'll water that in later. There we go. Great stuff. So if we have a look at this tiny little bed over here, I've got blueberry, and then I have 2 kale plants. These were overwintered. You can see they're growing really tall. What I can actually do with this is I'll have to show you, but there's a whole bunch of little shoots coming out. So I can actually bring it down a bit, and then it will shoot out lots of smaller little heads like this. They will eventually get sort of this big, but that's just another way of extending the life of your kale. So what are the benefits of intercropping? Well, clearly you can save space, especially if you've only got a little planter like this and you have a balcony or something. You can probably, what I've got in here, I've got 2 types of lettuce. I've got a broccoli. I did have a butternut plant. And then I've got some volunteer garlic. I've still got a space over on that side where I can still plant something else. Now, some plants will actually repel pests for other plants. So one would have to do a little bit of research on that. But for example, if you had to plant marigold, that will, just the smell of it does repel some things like aphids. And then also non-beneficial nematodes in the soil. The roots secrete some nastiness for them, and they don't like it. The other advantage is that different plants require different nutrients, and so they will be sequestering different things out of your soil, making it's almost like there's like a diversity. Almost if you're thinking of in the wild, like if you had to think of the savannah, then there's a whole diverse number of animals, and they're all contributing to the ecosystem. So if you have just one crop, then the pest knows this is the one place that I can go and I have my buffet here. But if you're intercropping, sometimes the plants are releasing certain smells that deter the pests, or they just can't actually find the thing that they're looking for. And then you would also like to plant your things in different places. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So this allows you to put lettuce over here, some lettuce over there, some broccoli here, broccoli there, so that you're not just got rows and rows of the same thing. In the summer, I had planted sweet corn in this bed, and now I've left the sweet corn in, and I'm going to use them as a trellis for my snap peas. I've intercropped with a late sowing of cucumber. Hopefully I'll still get some cucumbers from that. And then I've got flowers. This is hollyhocks. They finished flowering. Here's its thing. And then I have zinnias, and I don't know what this orange flower is. But they just help. It all just helps for the diversity in the bed. And then also these will attract the pollinator. So in this bed, this is 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters, and this is 0.5 meter wide. In this bed I've got baby cabbage, bush beans, and I have got red peppers. And then I have got one volunteer potato, and zinnias and hollyhocks. So it just shows you how much you can actually squish in a very small space. So my last example in my garden are my raised beds, where I have granadilla or passion fruit growing right around the bed. It only occupies a small corner in the bed, and then I'm able to use all the other space, for which I have garlic, and on this side I have garlic and cucumbers and baby cabbages. So some tips for intercropping. You want to choose plants with maybe different root depths, or you also want to consider how big is one plant going to get. Is it going to overshadow the others? Because if that is the case, like I said, with the cauliflower and the radishes, I know radishes will grow really fast. So I put my radishes quite close to the broccoli, and by the time I've harvested my radishes, then the broccoli leaves will have enough space and they won't grow over my radishes. And then there are some plants that don't like to be next to each other. For example, sunflowers don't like to be with beans and potatoes. So those are things you can do a search online. I'm not going to give you this whole like exhausted list there, but there are some plants that just don't like growing next to each other. So you want to keep that in mind. But you can actually even use intercropping as succession planting. So like I said to you now with the red peppers, my red peppers are going to be finished growing by the time my baby cabbages are big enough and will want to sort of take over the whole space. So these are just a couple of things that you want to keep in mind when you are intercropping. As with any method of growing, you want to make sure that your soil health is good. And that includes adding compost regularly and putting a nice thick mulch on to protect the soil and feed the soil organisms. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And I really hope that these tips will help you to get a greater harvest, produce more food, because this is what we're doing. We're growing food for our health and for the health of our planet. And I really hope that you have a fantastic day further, and I'll see you in the next video.